What if I told you, the moment you control your desire, everything in your life shifts, not slowly, not someday, right now? Because when a man stops chasing every feeling, every woman, every spark, something strange happens. People feel his power, women feel it even more, and life starts bending around him instead of him bending around life. Yes, it sounds wild, but it's real, and that's what this video is about. But let me ask you something. Why does desire make men weak so fast? Why do you lose your mind the second she gives you attention? Why does one text from her control your whole mood? Why do you feel empty when she doesn't respond, like your whole worth is suddenly gone? Why does wanting her make you act like you're not even yourself anymore? Why does your heart beat fast for her but your life stands still? Why do you have so much fire but no direction? Why do you feel powerful when she smiles and powerless the moment she doesn't? Why does desire take control of you instead of you controlling it? These questions matter because deep down you know something is off. You know you're not supposed to feel lost just because of another human being. You know you're not supposed to chase, beg, or bend to be seen. You know your life shouldn't depend on a message, a moment, or someone else's interest. And yet, it happens. To almost every man. Strong men, smart men, focused men, until desire takes over and boom, everything collapses inside. But here's the real question. What if you could flip the whole thing? What if you could walk into a room and not need anything, not need approval, not need attention, not need her, but she still feels drawn to you? What if controlling desire isn't about being cold, but about being free? This video will show you exactly that. How detachment works, how strategic absence forms naturally when you have purpose, how a man with self-respect becomes rare, how scarcity builds power without games, how emotional mastery makes your presence feel different, how a man with direction becomes magnetic without trying. By the end of this video, you'll understand why controlling desire isn't about rejecting love, it's about protecting your power. And when a man protects his power, women feel it. Life respects it, and everything changes. Ever notice how the moment you stop trying so hard, something strange happens? People look at you different. She looks at you different. It's like your presence suddenly has weight, like there's a gravity coming off you. Why does that happen? Why does letting go make you stronger while holding on too tight makes everything fall apart? Let's talk about it. Why is it that when you want someone too much, they pull away? Why do you give your best, your loyalty, your effort, yet it feels like you're the one losing power? Why does chasing feel right in the moment, but later makes you look back and think, why did I act like that? Why do emotions take over and make you react, when deep down you know reacting is the worst thing you can do? And here's the most painful one. Why does being available for her 24/7 make her care less? If these questions shake something inside you, good. Because when you finish this page, you're going to understand exactly why detachment gives you power and why that power changes the entire dynamic. Today I want to talk about the invisible energy of a man who stops orbiting around a woman and returns to orbit around his own life. Most men don't realize this, but the moment you shift the center of your world back to yourself, everything changes. It's not toxic, it's not manipulation, it's psychology plus human nature plus self-respect. Let me explain it fast, clear and simple. Not needy, not desperate, just too easy. Because think about it, anything that's too easy loses its spark. You ever held a matchstick that burned too fast? It was bright for a moment, then gone. That's how your energy feels when you chase too much. But here's where it gets interesting. When you slow down, when you breathe, when you focus on your own life for real, your presence gets heavier, more defined, more grounded. Women feel that shift instantly, because suddenly you're not a boy trying to be chosen. You become a man who chooses. That difference is huge. Why men lose their power without even knowing it. Let's get real. Men today are taught the completely wrong things. Give her everything. Be there all the time. Show her you care. Prove your worth. Sounds nice, feels romantic. But in practice, it destroys your masculine center. What you don't see is this: the more you abandon your own life to fit into hers, the more she loses respect. Not because she's cruel, but because your energy becomes predictable, over-available, undervalued, and value drops fast when you put yourself on sale. Here's the real value. Attention is a currency. This is the lesson no one teaches you. Your attention is expensive. Your time is expensive. Your time is expensive. Your time is expensive. Your emotional energy, extremely expensive. When you give it without balance, you bankrupt yourself. And nobody respects a man who bankrupts himself just to be liked. But when a man protects his attention, when he uses it carefully, when he prioritizes his goals, growth, and life, something powerful happens. His attention becomes rare, and anything rare becomes desirable. This isn't scarcity mindset. This is natural value. Diamonds are not precious because they scream, chase, or beg. They're precious because they are rare, protected, not easily found. Women feel that same value in a man whose energy is not scattered everywhere. Detachment equals control of your energy. Let me break it down in grade 5 language. When you don't chase, your mind stays clear. When your mind is clear, your decisions become strong. When your decisions are strong, your life improves. When your life improves, you become attractive without even trying. That's the chain reaction. This is how you shift from needing someone to choosing someone, from losing power to holding power, from being forgotten to becoming unforgettable. Detachment is not distance. Detachment is direction. You don't walk away from her because you're cold. You walk toward your life because you're focused, your goals, your mission, your standards, your growth, your vibe. When you pour energy into these things, your absence happens naturally, not forcefully. It doesn't look like games. It looks like this man has a life, and that alone makes her lean forward. A man becomes powerful when his life is bigger than any single person. His attention is rare, not cheap. His presence has weight because his world has structure. His emotions are steady, not scattered. He lets people come to him instead of chasing validation. This is the kind of man a woman respects. This is the kind of man she thinks about. This is the kind of man she doesn't want to lose. This is the man you become when you control desire, instead of letting desire control you. There's a moment, a tiny moment, where everything about a man changes, and most men don't even notice it happening. It's the moment a woman looks at you with new eyes, not the friendly eyes, not the he's sweet eyes, but the wait, who is he becoming eyes. Ever seen that look? It happens when a man does something rare. He stops reacting. But why does that shift make you suddenly more powerful? Why does emotional calmness change how she feels about you? And why do some men become magnetic the moment they stop fighting for attention? Let's unpack this. Why do your emotions explode at the worst possible times, even when you try so hard to stay calm? Why do you feel angry or jealous when she pulls away, even though you know reacting will only make things worse? Why do you let fear take over? Fear of losing her, fear of being replaced, fear of not being enough. Why does it feel like every time you try to talk things out, it only creates more distance? And why does she seem more drawn to men who stay composed while you feel punished for caring too much? If any of these questions hit you in the chest, good, because page 3 is where you learn one of the most valuable masculine principles on earth. Emotional mastery is attraction, not emotional suppression, not pretending you're a robot, not shutting down, but mastery. The real reason women get attracted to emotionally calm men. Here's something nobody tells you growing up. Most women don't fall for the man who tries the hardest. They fall for the man who stays centered, because a centered man does something extremely rare. He makes her feel safe. She might not say this with words, but women are deeply sensitive to a man's emotional frequency. If your energy is shaky, her trust drops. If your energy is solid, her attraction rises automatically. Emotional calmness is not about being unbothered, it's about being grounded. A man who is grounded makes a woman feel like she can relax around him. That feeling is priceless. Why men react? This is the psychological truth. You're not reacting because you're weak. You're reacting because you care too much, you care too much, you fear losing her, you attach too quickly, you place her above your own center. You tie your self-worth to her attention. This is normal, but it's dangerous, because the moment your emotions take control, you hand her the steering wheel, and no woman wants to be the emotional driver of a man. She wants to feel your strength, not manage your storms. A man becomes powerful when he stops performing emotionally. Most men show too much too soon. I miss you, I need you, I need you. Why aren't you replying? What did I do wrong? Are you losing interest? These questions don't show love, they show fear, and fear kills attraction instantly. Instead, the Stoic man does something different. He feels emotions, but he never acts from them. He doesn't explode, he doesn't chase, he doesn't panic. He steps back, he breathes, he observes, because he knows this: your reaction is her power, your calmness is yours. That's the difference between a man who loses himself and a man she respects. Emotional control equals mystery. Here's something most men never realize. A predictable man becomes boring. A calm man becomes intriguing. Why? Because calmness is rare. It's a sign of self-control, self-worth, and inner strength. When you stay calm, she feels curiosity instead of comfort. She sees you as different from other guys, and that difference is the doorway to desire. Women don't crave chaos, they crave stability paired with unpredictability, meaning you're emotionally steady, but still a man with his own life, direction, and independence. That balance is irresistible. This is not about manipulation, this is about self-respect. When you control your emotion, you control your choices. When you control your choices, you build a better life. When you build a better life, people, especially women, feel your strength. That strength makes them curious. It makes them drawn to you. It makes them want to be around you, not because you chased, not because you begged, but because you live with emotional clarity. This is how real masculine power grows. She is not attracted to your reactions. She is attracted to your regulation. Says attracted to your regulation. Cation lapikan utov tomincation. Read to you all maxidnotiv phony committing or. When you can feel everything, but still stay centered, still think clearly, still choose wisely, that's when she feels something powerful toward you. Respect, interest, desire, trust, curiosity, and sometimes fear of losing you. That emotional impact only happens when you master your inner world, because a man who cannot control himself can never lead anything in life. There's a strange thing that happens when you finally stop making a woman the center of your world. Your life suddenly becomes the center of hers. Wild, right? You stop chasing her, and somehow she starts noticing you more. You stop thinking about her all day, and suddenly she's wondering why you're so calm, so busy, so different. But why does this happen? Why does focusing on your own world pull her toward yours? Why does a man with direction become so much more attractive, even without trying? And why do women naturally want to attach themselves to men who have something bigger than love guiding them? Let's dig into this. Why do so many men lose themselves the moment they like a woman? Why do they pause their goals, their dreams, their habits, just to make things work? Why do they try to impress her instead of improving themselves? Why do they expect love to fill the hole that purpose was supposed to fill? Why do they think being romantic is enough when they haven't built a life worth inviting someone into? And worse, why do they get shocked when she pulls away because she feels bored, smothered, or unchallenged? If those questions stung a little, good, because page 4 teaches a truth that flips attraction upside down. A woman is drawn to your direction, not your devotion. Here's something most men never hear. A woman doesn't want to be your finish line. She wants to run beside you while you chase something meaningful. That's the core: purpose, direction, momentum. When a man has purpose, he becomes naturally attractive because his energy has shape, his decisions make sense, his life moves forward, his time becomes valuable, his presence feels earned, not given away. Women don't want a man who waits, they want a man who builds. Why most men lose their power? When you stop living your life, she stops feeling excited about you. When you drop everything for her, she drops interest in you. When you become too available, she becomes too comfortable, and comfort kills mystery. Comfort kills excitement. Comfort kills attraction. This isn't about games. This is about nature. Purpose creates natural absence, but without games, this part is crucial. Purpose doesn't make you avoid her, it makes you busy with your world. You're not ignoring her, you're improving you. You're not pulling back, you're moving forward. Women feel that difference instantly. A man who disappears because he's upset, weak. A man who disappears because he's building something, magnetic. Imagine two men. Man A, he waits for her texts. He worries when she takes long to reply. He cancels his workout when she suddenly wants to meet. He puts his dreams on pause because he's in love. He thinks sacrifice is impressive, but it actually makes him small. Man B, he's focused, he's working, he's building, he's improving, he's not cold, he's committed, but to himself first. He has standards, boundaries, a direction. He doesn't need her attention. He chooses her when he has time, and that makes him stand out. Which man do you think she feels more drawn to? Exactly, not because she's selfish, but because women want to join a life that's already moving. Here's the real truth. She doesn't want to be your whole life. She wants to be part of a life that inspires her. A man without purpose is unstable. He falls apart easily. He gets clingy easily. He gets jealous easily. He's always worried, always insecure, always emotional. Why? Because he has nothing else anchoring him. A man with purpose has stability, standards, vision, patience, balance, self-respect. These traits feel like power to a woman, and yes, she feels it instantly. Vision, patience, balance, self-respect. These traits feel like power to a woman, and yes, she feels it instantly. This is why purpose makes you attractive. New psychology. A man with purpose becomes harder to access, harder to distract, harder to shake emotionally, harder to manipulate, harder to replace. Not because he plays games, but because he's already taken by his mission. And women don't want to remove that mission, they want to be welcomed into it. Read this slowly. A woman respects the man whose life doesn't collapse when she enters it, and she desires the man whose life doesn't collapse when she leaves. Purpose makes you stable. Stability makes you attractive. Attraction makes her drawn to your presence. And your presence becomes even more valuable because your time isn't free. Not repetitive, not poetic, not manipulative, just truth. Let me tell you something strange. Sometimes the most powerful moment in a man's life is the moment he finally stops reacting, not stops caring, not stops trying, not stops loving, just stops reacting. And suddenly, everything changes. Her tone changes, her interest changes, her energy changes. But why? Why does control feel stronger than emotion? Why does silence speak louder than begging? Why does a calm man feel more attractive than an emotional one? Let's break this open. Why do so many men explode the moment they feel ignored? Why do they panic when she acts distant for one day? Why do they overthink every emoji she sends? Why do they get jealous so fast even when nothing is happening? Why do they let desire blind them like they have no brakes at all? Why do they turn small issues into big drama just because they can't control how they feel? And here's the real question. Why do men think showing emotion means losing emotional control? When did emotions start controlling them instead of supporting them? When did desire start making them weak instead of focused? Why do they act like losing her is the end, when losing themselves should be the real fear? This lesson is about something core, something deep. Emotional discipline, not emotional suppression, not emotional coldness, not emotional numbness. Discipline. A calm man isn't calm because nothing affects him. He's calm because nothing controls him. And women feel that difference instantly. They can sense when your emotions own you. They can sense when you're chasing validation. They can sense when you're scared to lose them. A man who controls desire becomes a man women desire. That's the paradox. Why emotionally reactive men lose attraction? Here's what most men don't see. When you react too fast, you reveal too much. When you over-explain, you expose insecurity. When you get jealous over nothing, you show weakness. When you rush to fix every problem, you show fear. When you panic because things aren't perfect, you show that she has more power over your world than you do. This isn't about ego, it's about balance. A woman does not want to feel like she is your emotional oxygen. That's too much pressure. She wants a man who stands strong and invites her into that strength. The new principle: control your response, control the tone. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to fix everything. You don't need to earn her reassurance. You need to control your response. Because the man who controls his response controls the dynamic. He sets the tone, he sets the pace, he sets the emotional temperature of the connection. Most men are fire, quick, loud, unstable, burning everything with fear and desire. But the Stoic man, the grounded one, he's water, steady, calm, powerful in slow ways. And women trust water more than fire. Picture this. Two guys both get a message from the girl they like. Hey, I'm kinda busy today. Let's talk later. Man A reads it, freaks out, starts thinking she's losing feelings. Double text, triple texts. Asks, did I do something wrong? Whole mood destroyed. Man B reads it, nods, goes back to work, goes to the gym, lives his life. He feels the emotion, sure, but he doesn't fall apart. Later that night, guess which guy she's thinking about? Guess which one she's curious about? Guess which one feels stable, grounded, confident? Not the one who reacted, the one who didn't. Not because he's playing games, but because his emotions don't own him. Emotional mastery equals natural scarcity. This is where the value hits deeper. When you don't react emotionally, you stop giving unlimited emotional access, and emotional access is a form of availability. Men forget this. It's not just your time that must be scarce. Your emotional space must also be scarce. A man who gives emotional access to everyone feels cheap. A man who gives emotional access only to those who earn it feels rare. And rarity builds attraction faster than looks, money, or charm. A man who masters his emotions becomes the calm in a woman's storm, and women don't walk away from their calm. This isn't manipulation. This isn't acting cold. This isn't pretending. It's becoming stable enough that desire doesn't shake you. It's staying grounded when fear wants to drag you. It's responding with strength instead of reacting with panic. That's real emotional power. And yes, she feels it every time. Here's something wild. Most men think women fall for them because of what they do, but sometimes she falls for you because of what you don't do. You don't chase every vibe shift. You don't crumble when she goes quiet. You don't beg for attention. You don't collapse into neediness when desire hits you hard, and suddenly she starts looking at you different. Why? Why does less reaction create more attraction? Why does your restraint pull her closer than your effort ever did? Why does your calm make her feel something she can't explain? Let's dig deeper. This page, this one's about a hidden force most men never master. Why do so many men think desire means surrender? Why do they let a little spark of interest turn into obsession? Why do they drop their whole life the moment a woman shows up? Why do they lose their schedule, their mission, their mind, all because feelings hit them too fast? Why do they forget that desire becomes dangerous when you have nothing else inside you? Why do they forget that a man with no center becomes a man with no power? And here's the biggest question of all. Why do they try to win a woman when they haven't even won control over themselves? Your center. A man's center is the quiet place inside him that stays the same even when life moves fast, even when a woman's energy shifts, even when desire burns. Without a center, you become reactive. With a center, you become magnetic. Your center is your inner gravity, the thing that makes her feel safe, the thing that makes her trust your presence, the thing that makes your desire powerful instead of weak. When a man has no center, he becomes too easy to move, too easy to shake, too easy to control emotionally. But when a man is centered, his silence feels intentional, his presence feels heavy, his attention feels valuable. That's the difference. The new truth. Desire without direction makes you lose yourself. Most men don't realize this. It's not desire that hurts you, it's desire with no direction. It makes you act fast, talk too much, overthink everything, fall in love with the idea of her, forget what made you attractive at the start, and cling to connection before it's even real. This is what scares women, not your desire, but your lack of direction. A man who can't hold himself won't be trusted to hold a relationship. The new principle: you must be hard to influence, not hard to get. This is new. This flips the whole game. You don't need to be hard to get. That looks fake. Women see through it. You need to be hard to influence, meaning she can't pull you away from your routine. She can't distract you from your mission. She can't shake your emotions by acting distant for a day. She can't break you with small tests. She can't make you doubt yourself with her confusion. That's what creates attraction, not playing games, not faking silence, not acting cold, being stable, being rooted, being unshakable. That is masculine energy at its strongest. Imagine this. A woman meets two men. Both are attracted to her, both like her energy, both want to impress her. Guy 1 loses balance immediately, starts checking his phone every 5 minutes, starts rearranging his entire day hoping she'll text, starts feeling nervous when she replies slow, starts building his self-worth around her attention. She feels it instantly, and her attraction drops without her even knowing why. Guy 2 stays in his center. He likes her, sure, but he doesn't abandon himself. He doesn't let desire control him. He doesn't lose focus on his goals. He doesn't rush into emotional dependency. And she feels something powerful. Why is he so steady? Why doesn't he get shaken? What kind of life does he have that makes him this calm? Her curiosity becomes attraction. Her attraction becomes interest. Her interest becomes pursuit. And he didn't do anything special. He just stayed in his center. A man who stays in his center becomes a source of stability, clarity, direction, peace in a world full of chaos. And women feel safer with that kind of man than with any man who acts emotional, desperate, or lost. Because when you have a strong center, your desire doesn't feel needy, it feels powerful. Your presence doesn't feel demanding, it feels grounded. Your attention doesn't feel desperate, it feels earned. And that changes everything. You don't need to control her, you need to control your center. Because when you control your center, she feels your power, she feels your calm, she feels your presence, and she moves toward it naturally. A man who is centered is a man she can't ignore. The hidden skill that makes women respect you instantly. What if the real reason she doesn't respect you has nothing to do with how you look, what you say, or how confident you think you are, but something much simpler? What if it's something so small, so quiet, so invisible that you don't even notice when you break it? And what if this one habit instantly tells a woman whether you're a man she should respect, or a man she can walk all over? Let's talk about your boundaries. Not the loud ones, not the aggressive ones, not the I'm a tough guy boundaries. I'm talking about the subtle boundaries, the ones she watches, the ones she tests, the ones you don't even know you're leaking. And that's where the real problem begins. Ask yourself this: why do you say it's fine when something actually bothered you? Is it because you fear she might pull away? Or because you don't want to lose her? Why do you let her cancel plans last minute, then still act available when she texts later? Is it because you're understanding, or because you've made yourself too easy to access? Why do you continue conversations that drain your energy just so she won't get upset with you? Whose peace are you protecting, hers or yours? Why do your actions shift based on how she feels, while her actions don't change at all based on how you feel? Why do you adjust your standards so quickly, but she never adjusts hers? Why do you avoid telling the truth because you're scared she might call you too much or too serious? Why do you pretend you're okay with things that you're clearly not okay with? Why does her mood control your day but your mood never controls hers? And most importantly, why do you keep thinking that staying silent will make her respect you when silence usually makes her forget you? Every single one of these questions exposes one painful truth. You think you're being easygoing, but she sees you as a man who doesn't protect his own space. You think you're being cool, but she sees you as a man who won't stand up for himself. You think you're keeping the peace, but she feels no need to respect boundaries that you don't enforce. Let me give you something powerful, something most men never learn. Women don't respect the boundary you speak. They respect the boundary you live. When you say, "I don't like disrespect," but you stay after disrespect, your actions delete your words. When you say, "I'm not a backup option," but you allow last-minute changes, your behavior confirms you are. When you say, "I don't accept games," but you continue entertaining her after games, your silence becomes permission. She doesn't look at your mouth. She looks at your patterns, your energy, your reactions, your follow-through. Your boundaries are not what you tell her. Your boundaries are what you walk away from. This is why some men barely speak, yet women respect them instantly. It's not confidence, it's not dominance, it's not mystery, it's self-protection, it's self-respect. It's the quiet power of a man who says, "I won't betray myself to keep you." That energy is rare, that energy is felt, that energy is attractive on a deep psychological level. Because women don't want a man they can control, they want a man who can control himself. Here's the truth you need to hear. She can't respect you if you don't respect your own emotional space. Respect is not earned through force, it's not earned through arguments, it's not earned by being loud, it's earned through consistency. When you say no and keep it a no, when you say you're busy and remain busy, when you say something matters and you protect it, when you feel something and you express it honestly, when you walk away from disrespect, even if you like her, when you don't reward bad behavior, even if you want her attention. This is the level of masculine order women naturally submit to, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. She doesn't follow your words, she follows your standards. The moment you stop betraying yourself is the exact moment she starts respecting you. The moment you stop shrinking yourself is the moment she starts leaning in. The moment you start protecting your peace is the moment she starts valuing your presence. It's not magic, it's not manipulation, it's not a tactic, it's the natural response women have toward a man who treats his own heart, mind and time with high value. What if the real power in attraction isn't in what you do, but in what you stop doing? What if the reason she never chases you, never invests in you, never puts in effort for you, has nothing to do with your looks, your money, or your confidence, but something even deeper, something you do automatically, without noticing, without questioning, without realizing you're destroying your own value every single day? What if the thing pushing her away is your availability? And not normal availability, but the kind of availability that kills desire before it even has a chance to grow. Let's break it down. Ask yourself these and feel the truth hit. Why do you always respond instantly, even when you're busy, tired, or not in the mood? Are you trying to be respectful, or are you scared she might lose interest? Why do you text her good morning and good night every single day, even when she barely gives the same energy? Are you being caring, or are you trying to keep her from drifting away? Why do you keep conversations alive when she clearly isn't trying? Is it effort or fear of silence? Why do you stop your day whenever she calls but she never stops hers for you? Why do you cancel plans to make time for her but she never rearranges anything for you? Why do you act like her presence is rare when your presence is the one truly rare? Why is she always the center of your attention while you are never the center of hers? Why do you treat her messages like an emergency but she treats yours like an option? Every single one of these questions points to one uncomfortable truth. You're too available in a world where scarcity creates value, not because you're weak, not because you're desperate, but because no one taught you that. Attention becomes worthless when it has no boundaries. She doesn't chase you because you don't give her anything to chase. Let's break down a powerful psychological fact. People chase things they're not fully sure they can have, not because they're playing games, but because the human mind is built to seek rarity. Think about this. You never chase what's always in your pocket. You chase what you might lose, what you might not get again, what requires effort, what demands attention. Effort creates attachment, investment creates value, and here's the part most men don't understand. When you remove all challenge, you remove all excitement. When you're always available, always responding, always giving attention, always showing interest, you remove the space that attraction needs to grow. Attraction breathes in mystery, it grows in curiosity, it strengthens in uncertainty, not in chaos, not in manipulation, not in games, but in healthy emotional spacing that protects your life, your purpose, your peace, your schedule. Let me give you real value, the kind that shifts your mindset instantly. Your availability should match your priorities, not your fears, not her expectations, not your insecurities. A high-value man isn't always reachable, not because he's ignoring her, not because he's playing hard to get, not because he's acting busy, but because he is busy. Busy building, busy growing, busy improving, busy living a meaningful life that doesn't pause for anyone. Women don't chase the man who waits for them, they chase the man who moves forward with or without them. This is why, when you stop replying instantly, she starts wondering what you're doing. When you don't jump at every notification, she starts thinking about you more. When you protect your time becomes valuable. When you stop forcing conversation, she starts wanting it. When you stop giving reassurance she didn't earn, she starts earning it. This shift isn't about distance, it's about self-worth. When you stop treating your attention like air, she starts treating it like gold. Here's the truth. Few men ever understand. Your presence becomes powerful when it's not available on demand. Women chase what feels rare, they invest in what feels meaningful, they respect what feels valuable, and nothing becomes valuable until you decide to protect it. Not by pulling away, not by playing games, not by acting mysterious, but by living a life that naturally makes you less available because you're chasing your own greatness. Women chase men who chase purpose. The moment you stop needing her, everything flips. What if the exact moment you stop needing her is the moment she finally starts noticing you? Sounds crazy, right? Sounds backwards. Sounds like something that shouldn't make sense. But it does. It makes perfect sense when you understand one thing. Neediness pushes, strength pulls. And most men don't even know they're being needy because their neediness doesn't look like begging or crying or please stay with me. It looks normal, it looks harmless, it looks like effort, but deep down, it's fear. Fear of losing her, fear of losing attention, fear of losing connection, fear of being alone. So let's rip the mask off. Let's expose the hidden behaviors men never question, but women feel instantly. Let me ask you something real. Don't blink, don't dodge, just face it head on. Why do you feel nervous when she takes too long to reply? Is it because you care or because you fear she might be slipping away? Why do you always want to fix things fast whenever there's the smallest tension? Is it maturity or panic? Why does silence feel like danger to you instead of peace? Why do you try to keep her entertained every second as if she might walk away the moment she gets bored? Why do you give reassurance even when she never asks for it? Why do you say it's okay even when it's not, just to keep the vibe smooth? Why do you hide your standards just so she doesn't think you're too much? Why do you accept things you don't like just to be the easy guy? Why do you overthink what she thinks of you but she rarely thinks about what you think of her? Take a second with that. These questions hit because they reveal a truth most men avoid. You don't want her. You want her approval, and the second you chase approval, you lose attraction. It's the fastest way to kill desire, not because she's cruel, not because she's testing you, but because women can feel when a man is scared to lose them, and it makes them feel like they already have him. Let me give you something extremely important. Attraction dies the moment a woman feels you need her more than you need yourself. That's the invisible line separating powerful from forgettable. See, women don't fall for neediness, they fall for self-trust. Self-trust is the energy that says, I choose you, but I don't need you. That sentence hits different because it carries weight, it carries boundaries, it carries self-respect. And here is the secret you must understand deeply. The man who doesn't need her is the man she feels drawn toward. Why? Because he's not afraid of space, he's not afraid of silence, he's not afraid of being misunderstood, he's not afraid of losing someone who doesn't value him. That's power, pure power. Women don't chase a man who needs them, they chase a man who chooses them, from a place of strength, not fear. And this strength shows up in simple ways. When you don't force time with her, because you already have a full life. When you don't cancel your goals because she suddenly has free time. When you don't let her moods control your mood. When you don't break your standards just to keep her happy. When you stay calm even when something feels off. When you don't give 100% to someone giving you 40%. This isn't coldness. This isn't manipulation. This is emotional independence. The thing women respect more than looks, more than money, more than charm, more than aura. Emotional independence is what makes a man unshakable. When you don't need her validation, your energy shifts. You walk different, you talk different, you respond different, you think different. She feels the shift, and suddenly her interest rises, because now your attention has weight, now your presence has meaning, now your energy has value. Listen to this carefully. You don't need to be distant, you need to be grounded. You don't need to avoid her, you need to avoid abandoning yourself. The difference is powerful. Men who lose themselves in women, lose women. Men who stay connected to their mission, gain women. Men who chase approval, get ignored. Men who protect their peace, get respect. Men who fear losing her, get pushed away. Men who fear losing themselves, become the ones women hold on to. This is the real game, not tricks, not tactics, not manipulation, just you learning how to be someone who chooses connection but doesn't collapse without it. That's the kind of man she chases. When you become the man who doesn't collapse, everything bows to you. Let me ask you something wild. What if the real power wasn't in getting her to want you, but in becoming the man who doesn't break when she doesn't? What if the real strength wasn't desire, but direction? What if the real win wasn't love, but identity? Men chase women because they fear losing them, but the truth? Most men chase because they lost themselves long before, and that's where everything goes wrong. Today, we end that. Be honest with yourself for 1 minute. Why does your mood fall apart when she acts distant, but you stay silent when you feel disrespected? Why do you call your desire love when sometimes it's just loneliness wearing a mask? Why do you think connection must be constant when the strongest bonds grow in space? Why do you feel not enough unless someone wants you? Why do you think desire means chasing when real desire is controlled, calm, centered? Why do you give women emotional power before you even give it to yourself? Look at these questions, sit with them, let them punch your chest for a second. Because every man reaches this moment, the moment where he must choose, am I a man who reacts or a man who leads himself? Here's the truth most men never hear. A man becomes powerful the moment his desire stops controlling him. Read that again slowly. Desire is natural, desire is human, desire is healthy. But when desire grips your mind like a fist, when desire becomes your focus, when desire becomes your identity, you collapse, and she feels that collapse. Even when you hide it, even when you smile, even when you pretend everything is chill. Women don't react to your words, they react to your energy. And the energy of a man controlled by desire, it feels heavy, it feels clingy, it feels insecure. But the energy of a man who controls his desire, that energy feels like mystery, strength, abundance, calm fire. She feels that. She follows that. She respects that. Not because you're playing hard to get, not because you're distant, not because you're cold, but because you're full inside. You're not chasing completion from others. This is where absence becomes powerful, not forced absence, not fake absence, not game-playing absence, but the natural absence that comes from a man living a real life, a life with purpose, a life with direction, a life with things to build, a life bigger than romance. When your life is full, you don't need to create space. Space happens naturally. Your mission demands it. Your purpose demands it. Your evolution demands it. And guess what? Women feel that. They feel when a man's life is bigger than his desire for them, that's when attraction grows like wildfire, because she sees something rare, a man she cannot control, a man she cannot shake, a man she cannot distract from himself. That man is unforgettable. Listen carefully. The solution was never get her back. The solution was get yourself back. All this time you thought the problem was desire. No, the problem was desire without direction. You thought the problem was absence. No, the problem was your fear of being alone. You thought the problem was attraction. No, the problem was you forgetting your own worth. And what have you learned across these 10 lessons? You learned how desire becomes power when you control it. You learned how space strengthens attraction. You learned how emotional calm changes your presence. You learned how confidence grows from competence. You learned how purpose shapes your aura. You learned how scarcity gives you value. You learned how identity makes you unstoppable. Piece by piece, layer by layer, you were given the whole blueprint. Not tricks, not gimmicks, not games, just truth. And now, we end with the truth that ties it all together. When you stop letting desire choose your actions, you become the man who chooses his life. And when you choose your life, women choose you. Not because you chased, not because you proved anything, not because you begged, hoped or prayed, but because you became a man with direction, a man with peace, a man with backbone, a man with emotional power, a man who doesn't break when someone pulls away, a man who doesn't fall apart when love becomes quiet, a man who stands even when desire grows loud. That man commands attraction, commands respect, commands life, and now you understand why. When you control your desire, she feels your power, and everything changes. This is the end of the video, but the beginning of your transformation.